Hey, I'm Shay, and I'm here with Dave.
Hey everybody.
Hey, I was just on the way to the trading post. I was going to show the differences between trading in Life is Feudal and Wurm, and I noticed this road out here by where we live in Life is Feudal. It's new, and it looks like someone's been working on it, and there's this wheelbarrow here. And this is actually a good example of the differences. This person's trying to make a road to somewhere, and uh, it's hard to do this in Life is Feudal. It's much harder than in Wurm because this is a great example. This wheelbarrow here, I can just, in this game, I just grab it and wander off with it, and it's my wheelbarrow now. No one can do anything to stop me. I now own it. Even if the person who owned it were standing right here, they couldn't stop me from stealing their wheelbarrow. And then they wouldn't have any way of continuing on with their road work because I've just taken their means of production. I've taken all their rocks that are in here and their wheelbarrow that they're using, and they'd have to go get another wheelbarrow. But this could just keep happening. This actually happened to us. That's why I mention it. So it's not unknown. And one of the differences here is that, it makes it hard to be a sandbox game if you have to worry about other players and stealing all your stuff all the time. But in Wurm, I'm not going to take this because I'm not a jerk person, but in Wurm, you can set permissions on things like this. And, they don't have wheelbarrows, but they do have carts, and you can put permissions on the carts, and you own the cart, and you can let only certain people have access to the cart. And so you can you could stop working on your road and log off for the day or leave your stuff out here and no one can mess with it. So when you log back in, you go back to work and everything's fine and you can be sure your stuff is safe from looters and thieves.
Yeah, it seems as though Life is Feudal, they actually are encouraging, um, you know, stealing and hostile acts towards each other on the environmental server, but the player versus player servers are, of course, have guilds and usually are all fenced in and such. So this is a real issue here for us because we like doing things with the community, and we were actually working on a road when we had a horse cart stolen the same way that Shay just showed you. So it's not a small thing that we brought it to their attention. They won't. The game developers won't even consider changing that. So that's kind of that for me at least.
Yeah, they act like they don't even understand what the issue is. So to me, this is like not a real player versus environment, because you can't do the sandbox elements of player versus environment without worrying about other players, which is not player versus environment, it's player versus player. So I just wanted to show that difference. Actually, let's see if I can pull up Wurm. Okay, so we're here in Wurm. I had to get another video up. So we have a wagon right here and a horse cart over there. In Wurm, you can just go up to this wagon. You could use this wagon for road work or whatever it is you're doing. You just go up and you set permissions. These are all the people we gave permissions to for our wagon. And you can do this in Wurm, and the horse cart is the same way. In fact, all this stuff is the same way. You can lock this. This is the food storage bin. I'm not sure why it's not giving me the thing, but I know you can put a lock on, maybe I don't own it. You can put a lock on almost everything, and and then you could just leave it off of your deed or your claim. In Wurm, it's called deeds. Um, yeah, see, I don't have permissions to deal with the roadwork cart because I don't own it. But you could see the wagon. It's the same premise. You can lock it and no one else can get into it. No one can take off with it. You can give permissions to the other people that are working on the road with you. And they don't have anything like this in Life is Feudal. And oddly, when I told them about our cart being stolen while we were working on a road and explained to them about Wurm, instead of being concerned in Life is Feudal, that someone was harassing us or that their game mechanics won't allow you to simply work on the road, they repeated to me, they explained to me how their game mechanics work as if I don't already know how their game mechanics work. I'm trying to file a complaint, about how their game mechanics work. And instead they're telling me how their game mechanics work. So I found that to be pretty disrespectful, actually. And we did this video before. You were talking about how in Wurm, not only can you lock your carts, but actually people don't tend to steal from you when you're out working on stuff. I've never had anyone steal stuff from me.
Yeah, quite the contrary to what you might think if you had only tried Life is Feudal. But in Wurm, it just seems like cooperative play is encouraged. And I know we found that there were, right from the very first days of playing Wurm, people were very supportive and encouraging and would help you out any way that they could, including going on roadwork projects later in the game, or we helped another player build an apartment complex. These are the kinds of things you can do cooperatively when you're not in fear of having your um, working cart and all your supplies and everything stolen if you don't take it back to your deed every night, which is just not practical.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, big difference, and we obviously have a bias in favor of being able to determine the permissions that we want for things. Some of those things that we may have permission, we could have set permissions. We quite frankly didn't care. So
Yeah.
and so we didn't set it, but and it'll last after you quit playing locked until the game people come and move it off of the next person's claim to your deed. So if you have a deed with a ship or a wagon or something on it, nobody can move it.
Hey, so I'm here in Life is Feudal, and there's this guy at the trading post. Oh yeah, he's worried about me now. He's left his cart just sitting here. Theoretically, I could just walk up and steal his cart. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to do it because I don't want to piss him off, but I could just steal his cart and take off with it. I'll just tell him. Okay, he wandered off. Yeah, this is kind of a problem in this game, and he just left his cart here. This is, I don't know, they say not to do this. Here he comes. He's freaked out. Yeah, he's like, what are you doing here? I think that this is a player versus player environment, so I don't want to mess with him because I'm little and he's probably bigger than me, but I could have just put my horse on it. I started to do that and it was working, and just taken off with his cart. problems with life is feudal. I'm surprised these people don't lose more cards. We lost our card this way.
Yeah.
So kind of, yeah, okay, he seems to trust me. I don't really know why.